Roland Martin. From Washington, D.C.
Come on, give me a break.
Roland Martin. Good morning.
Good morning, Tom Sybil and Guy Torrey. Shout out to NABJ, the folks in Detroit, an incredible convention in the Motor City. More than 3,000 journalists, black journalists, were there Wednesday through Sunday, and so we had a fabulous time there. And so just great to see Kim on Friday at his concert, and just unbelievable convention. And Tyler Perry tore it down.
Yeah.
Talking about entrepreneurship, and I will live stream that this week on my social media platforms. But also last week, while we were there, Donald Trump met with a group of black pastors to talk about citizen reform, criminal justice reform, and black folks have been talking about that meeting ever since, all on social media, especially remarks by Pastor Darrell Scott out of the Cleveland area, who called Trump the most pro-black president in his lifetime. Others have said, to John Gray and others, why were they there? What were they talking about? Was Trump challenged on his comments about black people? So joining us right now is Pastor Darrell Scott. Pastor Scott, thanks for coming on the show. First off, I've seen the clip where you talked about Trump being the most pro-black president in your lifetime. What were you talking about when you made that comment? What does that even mean?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. And let me say this. I was born during Eisenhower's administration. Trump is actually the 12th president I've lived under. You had Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, now Trump. And thinking about the different activities that these presidents have had concerning African Americans, we hold up Kennedy as a civil rights icon for whatever reason, I don't know. And, we look at Johnson signing that civil rights bill, which he initially opposed when it was introduced under Eisenhower's administration. You look at Kennedy, you look at Johnson as being reactive towards the black community. He reluctantly signed that 1964 civil rights bill because of social upheaval. We were getting dog sicked on us and beat up in the streets and rioting and water hoses turned on us because of the times and the pressure that was put on him by influential African-American leaders such as Martin Luther King. He reluctantly signed that civil rights bill. But as far as being proactive towards blacks, I don't see any of our prior presidents doing that. I see a couple being reactive. I see Bill Clinton being reactive by signing that 1994 Clinton crime bill and locking up black folks in the 90s like it was going out of style and making powder cocaine a lesser offense than crack cocaine. But when I look at a president who definitely wants to be proactive towards the black community, I know firsthand, because I'm working with them in this urban revitalization initiative that is going to be the largest public-private partnership in American history regarding urban revitalization. Then you look at him with his prison reform, this First Step Act that they've initiated with the prison reform. There's also sentencing reform and criminal justice reform, which I personally advocated for sentencing reform and criminal justice reform. I personally put a policy paper into Jeff Sessions' hand regarding overturning that Clinton crime bill. And we also talked about probation reform.
But Pastor Scott,
I let them know that a lot of times what they think is recidivism, they think it's people committing another crime, is really a technicality from violating probation, and they're going back to the penitentiary. So these are
Pastor Scott, Pastor Scott, first of all, I got to correct you on something. You're wrong about President Lyndon Baines Johnson. On the night that Kennedy was killed, on the night that Kennedy was assassinated, Johnson at 2:00 in the morning sat on the edge of his bed and told his top aides he was going to push through civil rights legislation. The 64 Civil Rights Act. He also signed the 65 Voting Rights Act, also signed the 68 Fair Housing Act, that which was actually filibustered. And in addition to that, Johnson also at a conference at Howard University was the first one to begin to talk about affirmative action, which didn't come through with Nixon. So that's factually incorrect.
Facts.
Now you talk.
No,
But Pastor Scott,
what I said was he was being reactive, not proactive.
But that's actually wrong.
To the social upheaval.
No, but that's actually wrong.
Johnson is the one ones that opposed that. That civil rights bill was initially introduced in Eisenhower's administration.
No. Let me correct you. But Pastor Scott, let me correct you. There was a civil rights bill in 1957 that was proposed during Eisenhower. One second. Did Senator Lyndon Baines Johnson water that down? Yes. Did he also get through the filibuster? Yes. That bill was passed in 57. The 64 bill is a different bill. Now, that's just facts. But hold up.
The bill that was originally introduced was not passed. And once again, in 1964, Johnson's own party, the Democratic Party, is the ones that opposed that Civil Rights Act. It was a reactive
Pastor Scott,
after the march on
Pastor
Washington
Scott,
and
that's
all the
factually
climate of the day. It was reactive, Roland.
Pastor Scott, that is factually incorrect. Southern Dixiecrats opposed it. There were other Democrats who did support it. Now, because remember, not all, Pastor Scott, the numbers don't lie. Not all Democrats oppose the bill. Now, one second, Pastor Scott. Pastor Scott, let's come to Trump.
Not a proactive move.
Pastor Scott, let's come to Trump. Trump, first and foremost, you talked about handing Jeff Sessions. I know for a fact that on the criminal justice reform bill, Jeff Sessions has opposed those things. Jared Kushner, Pastor Scott, Jared Kushner told me personally that Jeff Sessions was opposing nearly all those initiatives. Now, when you say Trump has been pro-black.
I'm not taking up for Jeff Sessions.
No, but Pastor Scott. Pastor Scott,
I put a paper in his hand myself.
But where's the evidence that Trump is pro-black when Trump has refused to meet with civil rights leaders? He has refused to meet with black media.
No. Civil rights leaders have refused to meet with him.
That's not true.
Trump went down to the opening of that museum, that African-American museum down south, and they protested and said, I would never go there, and encouraged John Lewis and different others encouraged blacks to stay home from that because Trump attended. Now, don't act like civil rights leaders are trying to meet with Trump.
Pastor Scott,
listen.
Pastor Scott, 1 second. Pastor Scott, let me correct you. Allow me to correct you, Pastor Scott. Pastor Scott. NAACP, Pastor Scott, I know for a fact that the CEO of the NAACP, the National Urban League, NAN, Rainbow Push, NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, Leadership Conference for Civil Rights, I know for a fact that those civil rights organizations would have no problem meeting with the president. That has not happened. They had one meeting with Jeff Sessions. And so if Donald Trump is pro-black, I need to see his black agenda.
Hold 1 second. Wait 1 second. Listen. Let me talk now. There's been the Office of Urban Affairs is in the process of being reopened. They even have someone that they've appointed to a position in the White House, Henry Charles, and he has met with the Urban League and the NAACP, and they have been to the White House recently.
I'm speaking of meeting with the president.
Hold on. And I know this much. Black ministers met with the president, and the whole black community is in an uproar saying they shouldn't have went.
No. Here's my question.
No, here's my
question. No. 1 second. I have a question.
Trump doesn't meet with black people. Every time he does, the black people that he meets with get castigated by our community.
Here's the question that I have. If Trump is pro-black, why is he, and through his budget, trying to shut down all of the U.S. Minority Supplier Development Agency offices? Why have they changed their power? It is in the budget, Pastor Scott.
There.
I have personally been talking to Minority Supplier Development folks. I have talked to Black Chambers, Inc. But it is in the budget to shut them down.
No.
That is the only federal agency that specifically talks about providing benefits to black-owned businesses.
Unemployment is at the lowest point in American history.
No, Pastor Scott. I know for a fact that they are trying to shut those offices down. I'm asking why.
The lowest point in
Can you
America.
Answer his question about the minority suppliers?
Hold on. I can't answer for every single thing Trump does. I can't answer for every single thing anybody does. I can only answer for what I do.
And you can only answer what you have been scripted to
what
answer.
I said was, in my opinion, based on the other presidents that we have had, I see them being reactive and not proactive.
But Pastor Scott, no disrespect, I'm still waiting. I've been at the table twice with Trump, and I'm still waiting for that proactive agenda, and I've asked for it, and I still haven't seen it.
Hey, hold on. I'm still waiting on Obama.
Well, trust me, and I'm still, and I'm trust me.
Well, hold your breath.
And don't think for a second that I didn't question President Obama.
Okay.
So here's the deal, Pastor Scott.
Roland, we got to go.
I'll happily see the agenda, and I'll talk about it on this show. So let's see that pro-black agenda, okay?
Roland, I sent you the video. Play it on the air.
No, I'm waiting. How about
we see it in writing?
I'm waiting to see Trump tout that agenda publicly. No, I got you. I got that. You're right. I want to see Trump tout that agenda in front of black people.
18 months so far.
I want to see him do it in front of black people.
Whatever the piss, he's on it. Whatever it is.